So, this session today is about what you can do when your child doesn't speak. So, you might be in this situation for a number of reasons. You might have a child that doesn't speak yet, is pre-verbal. You might have a child who is upset and has shut down and has stopped talking to you, right? They've stopped using words. And I know that just made me think of that saying, use your words. And when our children have stopped using words, it's because they're finding that difficult. Um, or you might have like a teenager who is just not communicating with you with words, right? They're not speaking. Um, and so in this session, I'm going to talk about the first thing that you can do that's going to be really helpful for you and for your child in any of those situations. So we'll dive in. So the first thing that you can do when your child isn't speaking, right, doesn't speak to you, either it's that they don't yet or that they've shut down, they're upset, they're angry, they're frustrated, there's stuff going on, right? Here. So the first thing to do is to let go and listen. So I'm going to say a bit more about that. So what I mean by let go is let go of words. Let go of the expectation that your child is going to communicate with you in words and listen to what they are telling you. So years ago, I learned a statistic that stuck with me, which is in terms of communication, only 7% of communication are words. Only 7%. So it's a bit crazy that we put so much weight and so much stock in words, particularly our children saying words to us, right? Only 7% as words. 55% of communication is body language, and the rest is tone of voice. So why are we putting so much weight on the words when there's all this wealth of information, wealth of communication that is happening? And when we do put so much weight on words, we can miss what is being communicated with us through body language, through tone of voice, yeah, through the actions of our children. But when we let go of putting so much weight on the words, we're able to listen a lot better. And I think what might be really helpful is to replace the word listen with observe. Because when we're listening, we are observing. We're not just listening to words, we're not just listening to sound. We're listening with our eyes, we're observing, we're listening with our senses, we're listening with our feelings. You know, we're sensing the vibration of another human being, the vibe in the room, right? So we're observing, we're getting communication in so many more ways than just the words. So I think this is so powerful when you're in a situation where you have a child who doesn't use words yet, but of course they're communicating with you all the time. So the next step really is for us to, so this is a mindset shift, right? Often people are looking for practical tools and things. And of course, there are practical tools when it comes to parenting, but a massive part of it is mindset. A massive part of it is our thoughts and feelings, how we view things, and shifting that, which is the letting go part, right, is huge. And then the listening is the practical part. The listening is the shifting, listening to observing, and then looking at like, how do we do that, you know? But the fundamental thing is you have to change how you think, let go of the words. And I know that's not always easy to do. It's simple, but it's not always easy. And this listening part is this like the fundamental part of communication. And it's what I teach over and over again. It's what I share with my parents in groups and what I share one-to-one, because it's so, so important. It's so fundamental. This listening part, this listening, or changing listening to observing, this observing part. It's because when we listen and when we observe, we can then look for useful or meaningful communication. Now, you might have a judgment about what meaningful communication is or useful communication. And when we have words being so high in our expectations of useful communication, we miss all other communication, because we can have words being the only useful communication. When you let go of that, what else are you seeing? What else are you hearing? What else are you feeling that's coming from your child? So a child that screams, "Go away," right? People are going to automatically go to a place of, "Don't talk to me like that. Da, 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 da. They're being rude, blah, blah, blah." Now, when you switch that to that is useful or meaningful communication, you might not like the way it's been communicated, but it's really useful information. What is the child saying? The child is saying, "I need some space. I need, I can't do that right now. I am feeling overwhelmed." They are communicating all of those things in that scream of "go away." But what can happen is, instead of listening to that and getting that, we can get upset, we can get triggered, offended, start thinking that they're being rude, that if we give into this kind of that's not acceptable communication, and da 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 da. And then by taking that standpoint, it adds fuel to the fire, and they get more upset, and you end up having a big blowout, big argument, all those kind of things, right? When you shift your view of it to, actually, that's helpful, that's useful, that's meaningful communication, then you can react in a regulated adult way to support your child when they're having these big feelings, when they're communicating in a way that doesn't feel great, but is understandable. It's understandable. So what does that look like? That looks like accepting or receiving, because I know people can struggle with the word accept, right? Accept is different to agreeing with how something's communicated, right? Or agreeing that that's the best way of doing something. It's accepting is not that. Accepting is receiving that communication, right? Understanding it, and then responding in a calm and regulated way as best you can, right? So those are the 3 steps: accepting, understanding, responding. So that's the place we want to be able to get to more of the time. And I get you're human. We're all human, and we're not always going to be able to do that, but doing it some of the time is massive. So yeah, do you know, I got up really early because I was so compelled. I woke up thinking about this, because it's something that people in my conscious parenting mastermind struggle with. This is something that parents struggle with over and over again. So I wanted to really do this session to help with that. So the example that I gave was of when a child, screams at you, What about if they are not speaking, right? And they're not screaming or shouting, go away. What are they doing? What is their body doing? You know, they might have grabbed your hand and are pulling you towards something. So that is useful and meaningful communication. They want to show you something, or they want to leave the park, you know, or the party because they're not feeling happy or they're overwhelmed or whatever it is. So there's so much that our children communicate with us that is not words, you know? So my invitation to you off the back of this is look out for this communication from your child that is non-verbal, right? That isn't words. And just today, just take some time to think about what I've shared, to observe what your child is communicating with you, and practice letting go of the words, letting go and listening. The two L's, let go and listen, right? So, and I'd love to hear how that goes, what happens when you do that. And if you're wanting more support with this and all the different strategies and mindset and all of the stuff, ways of regulating yourself as a parent so that you can be there in a gentle and conscious ways with your child, then do get in touch. You know, there are different ways that I can support you. There's a conscious parenting mastermind that is there for you to come and take part in and be in a group setting for support. Or I also do one-to-one support. A great place to start with that is the Managing Emotions bundle, because you get a bit of one-to-one and you get some resources to support you with this foundational part of listening, of the observing, right? So those are the ways in which I can help you. And please remember that to like and subscribe to this channel for more conscious parenting lives and podcasts and all the different things that I share here. Excuse me. And so like and subscribe to the channel. And in the notes below, you will see the different ways in which you can get support or that you can connect with me. Yeah, so go away, leave a comment, try this stuff out and let me know how you get on.